Good morning, wrestling fans. Welcome to PWR today, August 30th, 2022. The man they call Meathead, the lovely Linda K. Linda, how you living on a Tuesday?
Living La Vida Loca.
Ooh, I heard some stories about Ricky Martin. I hope you're not living like he's living, because he might be in trouble.
I just like living the crazy life. I just thought I'd reference a song because we both love music, and I know Matthew Thomas loves some Mas Tequila based off where he went to see some live music last night. We can get into that. Me and Matthew will talk about that tomorrow morning. But I love living the crazy life, but in a fun way,
Yeah.
in a fun manner.
You know, it's funny. He said who he's going to see. I was more into his opening act because I sent him some references. One bourbon, one scotch, one beer. I don't think he caught the drink alone reference after that. I don't know if you caught it either.
I sent the emojis. I sent two of the whiskey ones and one beer.
Yeah. Well, no. The I Drink Alone. The next line was from I Drink Alone. His buddy Jack Daniels and his partner Jimmy Bean, and we drink alone. Yeah, with nobody else. Oh, I love me some Thorogood. All right. Let us talk about something that feels good instead of Thorogood, and it's our collar and elbow friends.
Yes. If you've ever worn any collar and elbow gear, especially the t-shirts, my goodness, they are so soft, so comfortable. You can wear them any time of day. I like wearing them at night as well. They're so comfortable. But you make sure you go to collarandelbowbrand.com. Check out the latest and greatest in wrestling street fashions. You can also sign up for the emails. They send the specials, the sales, the shipping deals that they have, some new t-shirts, some of their line that have come back with that new collar and elbow logo on the sleeve. And if
It's
you
been
want
a
to save,
rejuvenation, honestly, in
yes,
the last, I'd say, 4 months.
yes. So if you want to be comfortable, look fashionable, and save 10% off your order anytime, you can use promo code Linda K. That's LINDAKAY.
Linda, I forgot to ask, and I know that you wanted to bring it up as well, and I know our listeners want to hear about it as well. There was one more remnant from over the weekend down in OV Dub. Tell us the story of what happened with our friend from Collar and Elbow, good old Uncle Al, and a returning Doug Basham.
Yes, it was the main event of the big one. OVW CEO and of course wrestling WWE legend Al Snow was making an in-ring return in an OVW ring, teaming up with Doug Basham. Don't just beat him, bash him.
Basham.
Yeah, Doug is also our head trainer there at OVW. And man, what great shape were Al and Doug for this match. I mean, like I said, everyone, you can still catch it, and it's actually up there for free. If you go to the OVW YouTube page as well, we have that up as well. But it was a tag team match between the two of them versus our Canadian muscle, Immaculate Joe Mack,
Okay.
and Adam, the returning Adam Revolver as well. And the stipulation of the match: if Al and Doug win, Al Snow gets 5 minutes alone with Shannon the Dude. Shannon, one of our commentators, also who I had some in-ring interaction with at the Nightmare Rumble this year. He was the person I eliminated. So,
Oh, yeah,
yeah,
that's
so Al and
right.
Doug won, and I've watched this moment back so many times. We had just the moment of Al having just nostalgia. At one point, head got thrown in the ring, crowd goes wild. We have, I mean, I'm there right along ringside pounding the mat with all the baby faces around and just chanting head, 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 head,
Oh,
head, head,
yeah.
boom, right on Shannon's head, and
Oh,
just a magical moment. Yes, great to
this
see.
magic moment.
Great to see our friends there. Doug Basham, Al Snow. I mean,
What about the
they
five
do
minutes with the
so.
dude? How did that go down?
Oh well, that's how it ended with Head hitting
Oh,
Shannon and him
yeah.
being laid out at the end. That's how we went off the air. Was Shannon laying face down on the center of the mat. But just Al and Doug do so much to help us learn and get better down the WW. Great to see them. Do their magic, do their thing in the ring, and I
Mhm.
bet that feeling for both of them returning in the ring was magical itself.
I mean, I've seen Doug Basham, right? But I haven't seen Doug Basham. He looks good. And, I wonder, are the last generation, are these guys staying in shape? Because, there's always that chance to maybe show up here or there or everywhere. He looked really good. I watched a good portion of the pay-per-view. Thank you to the link that was sent to me. But yes, I watched a good portion of that OVW show. So looking real good.
Absolutely. Just another great time. But yeah, I just definitely wanted to talk about that on the show. And everyone, OVW YouTube page, check it out. And it's also still up on Fight TV as well. You can watch unlimited replays of any of the events that are posted, including our weekly Thursday night TV with OVW right there on Fight TV.
Nice. Hey, let's move into WWE Raw news from last night, WWE news in general. Isn't it great to see people get their names back? Remember how Cody was just Cody, and then he fought the legal system and won and became Cody Rhodes? Well, last night, Mr. Riddle became Matt again. Your thoughts on Matt Riddle getting called Matt Riddle?
That's great. You know what? I didn't even notice it at first just because I've still said Matt Riddle. I mean, I've tried to say Riddle a lot on the air here, but I still know him reference him as Matt Riddle. So the fact that he had his full name and on the screen, that's great to see. I mean, that's just possibly a sign of others getting their
Getting their names back.
Yeah. But that whole segment, I know we'll get into that, was tremendous. But
yeah.
Yeah, but no, that's interesting. I mean, again, just some more signs of change going on at WWE.
Let me propose this to you. Who do you think should be next to go back to its former name? What about Walter? What about Pete Dunne? Anybody else you can think of?
That's the thing, though. Like with like Tommaso Ciampa, I think definitely we need that Tommaso back.
Yeah,
I would love that. But for those that got their name completely changed, at this point, I don't know. Unless it's a
right.
character change, like if Butch comes back as the bruiserweight, absolutely. Or Pete Dunne, Pete Dunne. But with Gunter, I mean, even with Ludwig Kaiser, I think personally that should stick just because that Gunter
It's working.
named, yeah, it is working. It's definitely working with just everything they're doing with that entrance, just his character, the look, having the sidekick of Ludwig and how he's been treating him, and now he's back in his good grace. It's just stuff like that. I think with Gunther, I think that one could stick just because the Walter change happened down at NXT anyway.
Oh boy, did they and us too. Boy, did we jump on top of that when it happened. But what's his name now? His name's Gunther. Wasn't he Walter last week? Good grief! But no,
and we're not even hearing the Walter chants anymore.
Right.
So.
You know what's funny? Now that you mentioned his name, and we just got done talking about Matt Riddle, former NXT Tag Team Champions, the Broserweights. Could you see that happening?
Oh.
Don't forget, Matt Riddle and Pete Dunne were Tag Team Champions.
Yeah, I guess it just depends what happens with Randy whenever he comes back. Right now, it's still Randy.
Okay, well, people getting their names left and right. You never know what's going to happen. Speaking of WWE putting things back the way it was, is there room for the monster among men, Braun Strowman, to return to WWE?
I mean, we're getting lots of surprises, lots of returns. I don't see why not.
Well, he left WWE last summer, and really the last prominent thing we saw him in WWE was that whole bullying thing that Shane McMahon was doing to him at WrestleMania. Remember, it was kind of, he was going, "Oh, I'm Braun Strowman, there." It just landed weird for all of us because here, we got WWE, be a star, don't be a bully, and you got Shane McMahon bullying Braun Strowman. I would love to see him get back in there. I think another beast, because remember, WWE is not the land of the big guys anymore. There's a lot more normal sized, I guess, is what you would call it, but a lot more relatable talents. You got to get a couple beasts in there. So would love to see Braun Strowman return to the WWE.
Right. And if that's one of the things that the whole thing with Shane and WrestleMania, that's one of the last things that we really remember from the last time seeing Braun Strowman on WWE programming, but definitely love to see a return in better light. We want him back, so that would be awesome to see.
Even less likely, but still a name being floated out there. He goes by Jonah now. but the former North American champion Bronson Reed also on the radar for WWE.
Yeah, be another big guy to have up on the main roster.
And a guy that can move.
Right. Because we didn't see him at all on the main roster.
No,
so
he was let go from NXT.
Yeah, just a more resurgence again of
NXT,
yes, of NXT talents with this. Again, I don't say the new regime, but
there's been talk that it's been called Raw Black and Gold brand.
Hey.
That's not too far off, to be honest with you. Let's talk about Raw from last night, and let's talk about how Raw opened up. Raw opened up with the Judgment Day taking on AJ Styles and Dolph Ziggler. Did I miss a match? I sure did, didn't I? I feel like I missed. No, it was AJ Styles and Dolph Ziggler. That's what they opened up with against the Judgment Day. How dominant does Rhea Ripley look right now? Again, you guys know me, Linda. You know me. I'm a big Rhea Ripley. Just, I'll say it. I'm a mark for her. I love her. I think she's absolutely amazing. But she looks like the boss of this group now. You know, because we wondered, was it Damian Priest that would be the leader? Would it be Finn Balor because he's a former champion? Or is it actually Rhea Ripley leading this group? And for a while, it was just the three of them. I think it's Rhea Ripley leads this group.
Absolutely. I mean, she comes out last. Just how
and in the center.
Did. Yeah, and center. You're right. Like how
Edge first on the mic.
All
right. Yeah. Well, AJ Styles, Dolph Ziggler taking on the Judgment Day, and you know what? Judgment Day gets a win. They look absolutely strong. But here's the thing: they're starting to leave the arena, or starting to leave, the ringside area, and they show this car pulling up in the back. It's Edge. I love what they did. They actually turned back around, went right back in the ring, and got on the microphones. You know what? This wasn't bad. Edge with a very strong promo. You know what? It's 2022, you dinosaur. My wife is a badass. So go ahead and talk about who's wearing the pants in the family, because we both do. And Rhea, you better watch where you put your hands, because she's going to show you why she's a Glamazon kid. Loved it. Absolutely loved it.
I also loved how Rhea said how she would crush whatever's left of Edge's man, which led to that Edge's rebuttal of both him and Beth wearing the pants in the family. But yeah, so some good stuff. There's some good interaction.
Very good stuff. Do you know what I was most excited for last night? We left Tuesday's NXT with a picture to Indy saying so long for now from her husband, Dexter Lumis, being arrested outside NXT. But there was talk backstage that, Dexter Lumis is already free. He's already gotten out of jail because The Miz refuses to talk about it and it's not pressed charges. So Dexter Lumis is free. Does that mean Dexter Lumis is going to show up on Raw? Does that mean Dexter Lumis will be back at NXT, tonight to go get his wife? I really do believe that Dexter Lumis can pick up Indy, carry her, and show up at the next Raw. I mean, I would love, that would be a perfect scenario for Indy Hartwell to make a main roster debut.
Yeah, I think eventually, I mean, it could have just happened right after NXT last week, but since it did not, and it did say for now, once again,
right.
I think, we got the middle of this program between Dexter Lumis and The Miz that will keep going as we saw, unless Miz is just hallucinating. We did have.
We don't know.
Yeah.
We don't know.
Kind of like that mystery with Apollo Crews. If you hear me and Matthew talking about it, we're not sure if he's got superhero powers. We can see the future. Not sure.
But he lost his accent too.
Yeah, but not quite sure if this is hallucinating. However, I think eventually this will be a way for Indy to come. But I think my assumption is that she'll be off NXT for a bit, and then once the thing with Miz and Dexter Lumis, if that wraps up sometime soon, we'll see Index.
Let's get it going
on Raw or SmackDown. Yeah,
I love when they stick with a couple. For example, remember how long ODB and Eric Young were married on Impact? I like when they stick with it. You don't have to run through. You don't have to. I mean, how long were Dana Brooke and Reggie engaged? A week?
Not very.
And where is Reggie? Where is where is I can't even think of his name anymore.
Truth.
No, not Truth.
Tozawa.
Akira Tozawa. Yeah, where is he? They got that was the Vince McMahon era right there, and they're gone. Not gone from the company, just not on TV. I forgot to mention too. What was the play between Ripley and Dominic? Come on, Ray. Come on, Dominic. Hit me. Come on. You know you wanna. Give me the kendo stick if you're not gonna do it. She's in his head.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, that's what you just said. What you were looking forward to. I was gonna say I was looking forward to seeing a interaction between Rhea Ripley and Dominic. Um, it's just, it started off with some funny stuff, and it still it makes me wanting more. I want to know what next, and we got some of that. Where now, yes, she is getting to his head, and I was just
She's his
thinking,
daddy. She said that at the Madison
your
Square Garden show at
puppy,
Ray's. Yeah, I'm your puppy now. Yeah,
I'm looking. I'm just thinking.
I know.
You're thinking about Clash of the Castle too, huh?
Yeah, I'm thinking let's see something there because we're gonna hear from Dominic later. Tell his dad that I thought it was gonna be us. Well, no, it's just like familia. No, I still need you in my corner though. All right, Viva la Rasta. So you never know. I mean, maybe this is where Dominic branches off and does his own thing. Bianca Belair, Alexa Bliss, and Asuka in a warm-up match, I guess. Trios women's match. Oh, wait, this is an AEW. Danny Moe, Kay Sparks, and Katie Ark. Welcome to the show. It was an easy match for Bianca Belair, Asuka, and Alexa Bliss. They're on the microphone. But after the match, here comes Belair talking about Bayley, Dakota Kai, and Io Sky, how they run their mouths all you want. But they will go down at the Clash. She's been running this, man. Bianca Belair has pretty much owned the women's division. All right. They're approached by Adam Pearce, Ciampa, and Miz. And Miz doesn't want to talk about it. Miz is panicky. He's nervous. He's jittery. It's really Miz's fault that Dexter Lumis is loose again.
He didn't press those charges.
No. Maybe he made it weird. All right, here he comes. And we alluded to it before. Doug Basham looking really like cut and lean and mean. Here comes Kurt Angle. Kurt, you lost some weight there, buddy, but you still look like you got definition there. Kurt Angle looking good.
Yeah, I mean, he totally could have came out in a shirt, but he did not. He knew he looked good and he had to show it off. But good for Kurt.
It's funny though. The first thing I think of is one, if I'm that old, but I still look that good, damn right I'm going to be showing off everything. You're lucky that he had a jacket on. I'm coming out without a jacket. But all I can hear about is like, Dad, put your clothes back on. But you know what? He looks good. So what? I thought they gave him the perfect counterpart to having Kurt Angle out there. Shush, please. That was perfect. Because remember, Chad Gable did compete in the Olympics. They didn't win a gold medal with a broken freaking neck, but I thought they gave him the perfect counterpart. And then the Profits.
The moment when he said, like, the other crowd was booing, he's like, please be respectful about those lines. We have an Olympic.
We have an Olympic competitor here, and Kurt Angle. Kurt even got set up tonight. So he goes, "Yeah, you won a gold medal." And he goes, "With a broken freaking neck." The Street Profits.
Shush off too.
Shush. The Street Profits come out to save face for Kurt Angle, and the match meant something. So if the Academy won, that means Kurt Angle has to join them and do whatever Master Chad Gable says. Well, this wasn't going to happen. I like the drinking out of the solo cups. Kurt did not like whatever they were drinking. So he went ahead, and I saw the cooler behind him, like, I guarantee you there's milk in there. There's got to be milk. Go get the milk. Look at that. Milk off. And then he was handing out milks. I hope they were plastic bottles because he threw one, and I saw landed in that Dexter Lumis area from last week, where it's like nobody caught it.
I'm sure it was plastic. I would hope so. But yeah, I had that feeling as well once he spit out the libations in the red solo cup. I knew it. We're going to see that milk. But yeah, just great nostalgic flashbacks to the milk truck or the big fans.
Oh. Yeah, it was the milk truck. Yeah, going after. Yeah, hey, the Seth freaking Rollins and Riddle face-to-face satellite interview. Now, obviously, Riddle was being interviewed from a locker room. There was no saying where Rollins was. This was a standard issue interview until they did something new. What they did was they went to break, they came back, and Jimmy Smith says, we saw how intense that interview was. Apparently, after Corey was done and Corey made his way back here, they left the cameras and the mics on. Seth Rollins goes, hey, Riddle, still got your mic on? Can you hear me? And he started calling him a bitch. And he says, maybe I want to be a punk bitch. And maybe, I wouldn't be a bitch like you if my wife hadn't left me and divorced me and left you all alone. Nobody liked. Wow. I mean, that was a punch right in the groin.
Yeah. I mean, and it was obvious that the F word was bleeped out a few times from Matt Riddle.
Yeah. Oh. And that's Matt Riddle, not Riddle. Matt Riddle.
I said Matt Riddle. Yep. I made sure to.
No, I'm laying it in there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Oh, man. Yeah, and then I think Seth called him a B again, and then we heard some F-bombs, or bleeped F-bombs, but there was some intensity there that, especially coming from Matt Riddle, because we just know him in this fun-loving...
Randy.
Yeah, most likely feeling good, if you know what I mean, kind of guy, but just seeing that different demeanor and just hearing him say that exchange, yeah. That was great to see. And then it made me think of wait, are we on TV14 now on Raw yet? But I don't think so. But
I don't think so. I think they're pushing the envelope. Here's something that I got to thinking when Riddle and Rollins were done. We used to always say, please don't call up talent from NXT to Raw because they're gonna just crap on them, right? Can you think of the last 5 years any talents that have come up? You know who came up? Riddle. The Street Profits. And that's pretty much it. Those are the ones I can think of that have actually had success on the main roster.
Like the recent NXT?
I'd say within the last 3 years, okay? Pre-COVID.
I would say of current, I'd say Raquel Rodriguez is...
Well, that's recent. Okay. But I'm talking about in the last 3 years. Go back and think about all the other NXT call-ups. If we're going to go back to, say, the Ascension, nothing. The Vaudevillians, nothing. Think about all the others. Look what they did to Karrion Kross. Look what they did to Keith Lee. Just all these call-ups. What happened to Robert Roode? Where's Bobby Roode? Success-wise, I think Riddle is absolutely killing it, and so is the Street Profits. And you know what? You could probably put in the tag team of the Viking Raiders, the new vicious Viking Raiders as well. So,
yeah, that was the next names that I was thinking of, was the Viking Raiders. Doing their thing over at SmackDown there. All right.
Tommaso Ciampa on his way, I think, as well. Mm-hmm. Bobby Lashley and The Miz. I was never more focused on a Miz match than I was on this one last night, because what I wanted, how are they going to get Dexter Lumis in this? Because that's, literally, Dexter Lumis and Matt Garza, wherever you are, Matt Garza, we know that was you. Again, folks, Google Matt Garza. It'll be funny. So Miz, very distracted, and then finally it looks like he's getting somewhere. And finally, he might actually have a chance to beat Bobby Lashley. Now, was this supposed to be a title match? Because there was a point where Jimmy Smith said he's got a chance for a new U.S. champion. I didn't think it was a title match. I never heard it was a title match.
It's funny you mentioned that, because as a ring announcer, I was listening. That's a lot that I listen to with matches. I definitely like to hear how specific matches get announced, and it just said the following contest with one fall. I'm like, so is it non-title? Or right. Get the in-ring intro. However, I did hear Jimmy Smith say that too, so I was like, oh, so this is a title match.
I think it was a slip on Jimmy, actually. I don't think it was a title match.
But if it was never said non-title at the beginning.
Yeah. So, as Miz is about to finish off Bobby Lashley, the crowd starts turning. He starts looking. He's yelling up there, and there's Dexter Lumis just staring there, doing the Dexter Lumis look. The very kept hair and that insane, almost Dexter, look from Dexter, the Showtime show Dexter. That's where Dexter Lumis gets his look from. That just distant stare. And then he gets Ciampa to look up, and he's not there. So is Miz hallucinating this, or are we all seeing it? Well, Bobby Lashley with the win. And you know what? Miz is, I'm going to be paying attention to this for week after week after week to see what they're going to do next. Is it a little bit like what happened down with Theory, or Austin Theory, who might get his name back too now that we're talking about getting first name?
Oh, that was the other one. Yeah, I was like, there's another one I can't think of at the tip of my tongue.
But are we going to get what Dexter Lumis did with Austin Theory in NXT? Who knows? Who cares? I'm there. I want to watch it. So after the match, it's really just Bobby Lashley, obviously kind of gloating. And then we get to backstage with Edge and Kurt Angle. This was a unique little segment. They did 3 different things here. It was Edge and Kurt Angle. Edge did his thing with the cardboards that he did from the early 2000s. Excuse my hiccups. And then that leans into, we go back to Angle talking to, Ray, and then we go to Dominic and Ray. Again, I think Rhea Ripley's got Dominic kind of rethinking things.
Absolutely. That's what I was alluding to earlier, because he, just saying, showed some weakness is the right term, but he definitely had hesitation, and it wasn't just him throwing the chair down, just coming to, his senses, like, I shouldn't hit a lady. It's like he was almost mesmerized to some extent, not hypnotized, but that she's definitely getting to him. And the fact that this segment happened of him saying, I thought it was to be a family thing. And then I thought back, was it last week or 2 weeks ago where he almost had a scuffle with Edge?
Oh, yeah, it was at least 2 weeks ago where he kind of shoved him in the chest. Can I go back to the Edge on the microphone against the Judgment Day? He goes, and you 3 up there looking like all emo because you're mad you didn't get tickets to Bullet for My Valentine.
I was thinking my Kimura match, because they're actually going to be at Riot Fest in Chicago next month, and I'm debating on going. So anyways, yes, there was talk of that, and then during Miz's match, also talk of manhood and sizes of balls and stuff as well.
Yeah. Well, let's get to the Bloodline, the Usos, and Sami Zayn. The honorary Us, who I don't think is honorary anymore. I think he's a full-on Us, but he might be losing that real quick. Linda, is Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn the team to take the belts off the Usos?
Wow. I didn't even... Okay. This is a true revelation for me. Did not even think about that. I mean, so Sami Zayn's been playing, or will be, or are, whatever, playing the Usos.
Mm-hmm. Maybe.
Wow. That would be huge. I would want something built a lot more into this, though, before that would happen.
I mean, maybe there's a Kevin Owens, Sami Zayn match coming up, and then they team up, and then they beat the Usos. Because does Kevin Owens get in Sami Zayn's head and say, look, dude, they're treating you like a punk? Because he said, you're their clown. You're there to entertain them.
Yeah, because it looked like Sami was completely on board with the Usos until they asked him to hit KO with that chair, and he couldn't do it.
Yep.
Couldn't do it.
Kevin Owens took on Jey Uso, and Jay's the one that doesn't like Sami. He's working on it, though. Kevin Owens took the win over Jey Uso.
Yeah, definitely should not be happy Roman Reigns about that for SmackDown or any time before Clash of the Castle, because that's something that he would have liked to have seen for this honorary Uso to do, is the Bloodline once, and that did not happen.
We got more out of the Miz and Ciampa, and it's the Miz getting in the car. And the second the Miz gets in the car, I'm telling you, at my house, be in the car, be in the car, be in the car, be in the car, be in the car. He closes the door, and the light goes on, and there's Dexter Lumis in the back of the car. You know what it made me think of was the times that Dexter Lumis was behind the glass door, we're in the rooms down in NXT. Like, this is awesome. Continue to do this, because this is exactly what I'm looking for.
Yes, and what I also want to get out of this is, when we do get this match or confrontation, I want to know why Dexter Lumis has chosen the Miz to be.
Why Miz?
Yeah, because he was on AJ Styles for a bit, and it changed to the Miz during their match.
Or maybe it was just, maybe he was there for AJ Styles, or maybe he was there for the Miz, but AJ Styles was the one that got it. I mean, who knows? Mm-hmm. So maybe it's both. We also saw a little cool thing with Johnny Gargano sitting, as a lot of the talents do before the shows, they find their favorite place to sit is in the stands and look at the ring and kind of picture how things are going to go for that night. And he's cutting an interview, and you could see somebody walking down behind him with a briefcase. I loved this interaction.
Absolutely. I definitely want to see something more between the two of them. I liked how just mentioning the way it came about last week when Gargano came out, or Johnny Gargano. I know that the Dumbotron said Gargano, but Johnny Gargano.
Well, I mean, he's Johnny Wrestling, so at least we're using the forbidden word wrestling, and Johnny is been established.
Yeah, but yes, definitely like that. Yeah, just give us some more of their interaction. This is great because right now, Theory.
It puts Theory to work.
Yeah,
is what it does. Theory has something.
And think I'm like, who's he? There's a thing
No
with
one.
Dolph, but I think that just ended. So, oh yeah, let's put it with them, and let's also remember that he is still Mr. Money in the Bank. Can't forget about that as well.
Yeah, there's a lot going there. You know what we haven't gotten in a while, and we're going to need it again in a couple weeks just to keep us remembering and not forgetting. I need a Cody Rhodes update.
Yes. Well, there was mention of Cody though, at least. So
mention. Well, as you know, when Riddle said you lost to Cody 3 times. All right, main event time. Dakota Kai and Io Sky take on Raquel Rodriguez and Aaliyah in the Women's Tag Team Championship Finals. Lots of booty smacking in this match. The winner and new Women's Tag Team Champions, Raquel Rodriguez and Aaliyah. If I'm in the back, the first reason I make these women champions is because I want to see Raquel Rodriguez do the thing with the belt around her back and then her flex.
Yes. But I will say, going into this, or at least when this tournament started, it seemed it was almost just meant for Io and Dakota to get just for this rise, this push that they're getting, this huge debut on the main roster at SummerSlam. That's what I thought. Just kind of like going along the lines of the AEW, the Trios tournament, just thinking how it was meant for House of Black, or they were at least a favorite. But hey, we got Raquel Gonzalez, strong competitor, fan of hers, and then having Aaliyah on board tagged with her is, I mean, they have some chemistry. I think they did really well in that, and yeah, nice way to kind of end the show with Bianca, Alexa, and Asuka, and they're celebrating with them. But I will say I did take note that it's different fashion from your typical go home show before a pay-per-view. Usually a bit more craziness, more intensity, but there was something there. There was, like, as I know you've been, pouncing on this, that the last match means something. There's some purpose, there's something there, and it's to crown the new Women's Tag Team Champions, where those titles were left vacant for quite a while. So yeah, so this is exciting to see where this takes us with the tag titles as well.
Absolutely. All right. Well, new Women's World Tag Team Champions. That is our out time as well. I think we've really done some good work here. We've done God's work here, Linda. So for Linda Kay, for Matthew Thomas, I'm the man they call me to tomorrow night. NXT, again, I'm begging you, please, WWE Trips, I hope you're listening. Have Dexter come find Indy. I pop so hard for that. So for Linda, for Matthew, Meathead, we'll talk to you tomorrow morning. So long, everyone.